But yeah, the fight came about. I was training at the gym, and the owner of the gym called JP and said about because who I fought last, Adam Loy was meant to fight John for the belt on this date, but they'd already rescheduled it because he said he was injured, which I think he was, to be fair. But they had to reschedule it, but they didn't want to reschedule it again because it was like 3 days away, obviously. So they was looking for someone, and they said, do you want to do it at 63 and a half, 3 rounds? Like, if you beat him, it's a massive win. And I was like, hold on, like, he's the champion at 61. I didn't even think about what my weight was at, like, because I walk around pretty heavy for 61, even though I can make it. Like, I'm a big boy for that weight. Like, probably not as much as some people, but...
You're tall, though.
Yeah, I'm tall.
You're
like,
not
I'm
small.
like, 70 kilo, you know, so, like... It still takes some doing to get to that weight. I need the time, but I didn't even think about it. I just thought I want to fight him for the belt. Not really even doing my research on him. I didn't even know him that well. He's actually more of a clinch fighter himself. But anyway, so I said to JP, like, can we try to get it for the belt? And he's like, yeah, we'll try to do that. He said to him about it. Bit of back and forth between like promoters, RWS, the guy from our gym. The day out, like the night, they said, yeah, we're going to do it for the belt. So I was like, oh, wow. I better start losing weight then. So I think it was Wednesday night. It was Tuesday night. So I had Wednesday and Thursday to lose weight.
How much weight?
And like a lot of weight. And Friday morning, like 8 kilos, maybe more, like a lot of weight. Like, and I was at least 69 kilo at the time. And I just started in the sweatsuit straight away in the morning. And it was coming off pretty well at first. I was like, this is going to be all right. Like, I'm going to get it done. Done morning, afternoon running. And then my nutritionist was like, don't go in the morning. We're just going to... Don't go anymore. We're going to sauna in the morning. So I went to the sauna. It kept coming off. And it was going pretty well. Like, overnight, I'd lost a bit. So I got down to about... When I was in the morning, on Friday morning, I was 62.9, so I was almost there, but still quite a way to go. And I managed to get more off, and I just kept getting in the sauna, but I was there for ages. Like, I mean, me and my nutritionist at the time, we were there for, gotta be like 2 hours at least, in and out of the sauna, at least.
Did your brain till
I couldn't literally, physically... was like having to do 5 minutes at a time because I was just so
exhausted.
So done. And Andy actually was coming for the fight, so he turned up and just saw me like on the floor, basically, like in a sweatsuit, like just coming out of the sauna. So I didn't even really take in that he was there. Like, I was just in such a bad way, and I kept going. And I remember I was at the point where I was at like 61 and a half and a little bit. So I was almost there, like a pound off, like half a kilo. And at that point, I was like desperate. I was like, whatever we can do. So they literally shaved off all my hair, all the hair off my body, to think, that might lose. Like, even the nutritionist thought that might lose like 200 grams or something, nothing. Literally nothing. So I shaved my head. I shaved my head for nothing. But I wasn't even bothered.
You'd have done that. Would have been the easiest thing.
That was a minor to me at the time. I was like, just don't get me back in the sauna. But I tried, so I went back in the sauna. But at that point, I wasn't sweating anymore. Like, my body just wasn't giving out anymore. I'd lost too much, I think, in a short amount of time. Like, I'd gone too far. Went to Raja. Checked on the scales, I was a 0.5 over, like at the gym. They was talking about, we said, they said you've got till 1 o'clock to lose it. This was at like 10 o'clock. So I went to go outside again, and I literally couldn't even stand on my own at this point. Like, I was in a bad way. Like, I was getting like helped along, and we was like, let's try to find a sauna. One of the Thais was with me from the gym, and Andy, and we got on his motorbike. And we're looking around, and we've drove up to this first place, and they're like, no, the sauna's not here anymore. And I'm like, fuck. And then we've gone to drive again, and I'm like, we got to tell him to stop a minute. I feel like I'm going to fall off. And then I just got off, laid on the floor on the side of the road in Thailand, and I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm not going to lose anymore, like, here. I was like, it's not going to come off. Like, we just got to go talk with them. So we went to talk with them. The guys from RWS were actually really sound. They were like, yeah, we understand fully. You took the fight on short notice. We can see you've tried to lose the weight. It's obviously down to John and his team, what they want to do. Obviously, I apologise to them and their team. But they decided they could either make it a 63.5, so we both drunk water, put the weight on, made it fair, and 3 rounds, or fight for the title. But I wasn't actually eligible to win the belt, but it was still a title fight, so it was still a defence for him. But yeah, I couldn't win it at the time. So they decided for that. Because I remember they were standing opposite me, and they were speaking in Thai, obviously, so I couldn't understand them. But they were literally pointing at me, basically saying, "Look at him!" And I was laid down, they wouldn't let me drink water until we decided what to do. So I was just on the floor, laid down, and I looked in a bad way, all shaved head.
Dehydrated razor.
I see that photo of you sitting in that the brick wall bit.
That's outside Raja, yeah.
Slumped over,
man. I've never felt like that. I remember I went back, so I've drunk some water, gone back. And as soon as I got some liquid in me, I cried for ages, I remember, because I was so disappointed in myself, I didn't make the weight. I couldn't cry until I drank water. That's how dehydrated I was. It was mad.
That's a bad way, though.
No, no.
No, we're not all deep in this.
Yeah,
he could not even cry tears. Yeah. He had no water in his body.
I was literally like that, about to cry, and there was no tears. But I was still sad. And when me and Andy got back to near where the gym is, he come up with me for a bit, and as soon as I'd got over a litre and a bit of water back in me, then I was actually crying, and then